All right, man.
Ready to
Do you want to be the one to start?
No, you have to.
I have to?
Yeah, just at least with the name. I could start with combo, but...
That's only because you want to do the senior co-host thing.
No, that's not even it. I swear.
All right.
I have an idea.
Yeah, you do. How's it going, everyone? This is Yxlarb, and I'm here with my co-host.
Bosnian tea.
Nice.
That was the whole plan.
Nice.
I planned this.
Yes.
And it still went that poorly.
It did. It did. Especially since they didn't even know you were drinking tea until just now.
Oh, they must have known by how I was holding the cup.
Oh, yeah, if you hold it like you're warming yourself, it has to be tea. Like,
or hot chocolate.
Yeah, never with coffee. I never see people do that with coffee. It's weird. Yeah. I was telling my wife the other day, it's like, oh, I bet you hold your coffee like this. And you're like, just like in a commercial, like you have a blanket wrapped around you, you're like, I don't know where I come up with these things. I'm thinking about commercials all day, I suppose. So, guys, welcome back to our podcast. This is episode 2. We're recording this in early February. So, at this point, Minecraft Season 2 hasn't come out all the way. There's still 2 episodes to go, but by the time you're seeing this, of course, it has completed. And if you don't remember...
we completed it.
Yeah, we completed it. And
it's recorded.
It's recorded, it's edited. It's even uploaded right now. It's just scheduled to go. It's as ready as it can be, so... There you are. but so, as we mentioned last podcast, during our first podcast, almost 5 months ago now, I think, maybe a little more, we're going to try to do one of these basically after each major series. And of course, Minecraft is the next major series that just got completed. And it's actually the last series that was completed in the phase. So the whole phase, aka chapter of our channel, has been completed. It's kind of surreal to think about each time because they're always so long these days. I mean, it's not like back when we were both in early undergrad where we could record 1 or 2 times a week and upload close to daily. Yeah. We'd finish a phase in like 2 or 3 months, but now it's a much bigger deal, I'd say, because of how long it takes. Mm-hmm. So it's just a little bit different. But I guess we're going to start off talking about Minecraft and then just let the conversation flow from there, just like we always do. We don't plan these.
No planning whatsoever.
No, aside from talking about Minecraft.
Yeah,
that's the
that
only
was
part
it.
of the plan. That's it.
And it might be obvious that we haven't planned anything.
It might be.
I hope not. I hope it's like, did they plan this conversation?
No, it's not. This isn't Top Gear. It's where it seems natural, but it's not.
Yeah, or every reality show ever, where it doesn't even seem that natural most of the time.
Guys, this is some good water.
So explain.
So yeah, Bosniancheese is dying to find out. So, for those who don't know, I work in a law office, and obviously I wear a suit every day I work. I don't have any other water bottles except for a Gatorade water bottle, and I can't be wearing my suit carrying around a Gatorade water bottle. It just looks weird. I'm carrying a briefcase and like a bright green Gatorade water bottle, which makes no sense. So I carry this thing. And everyone assumes I'm having coffee because that's what lawyers do. But no, it's just water. This is my water bottle. It just looks fancy. And no one notices, I imagine. So I'm just sitting here drinking. You probably think it's coffee.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Well, I kind of knew it wasn't.
Because I'm not holding it like this, right?
No, because I know you've never drank coffee in your life.
Yeah, that's not what I do.
There must be juice in there. I was thinking tea, because I was thinking about tea, and I was like, maybe he's drinking tea.
No, I do drink tea, but I don't drink hot things on the go because I have to. I just have to have them while they're hot.
What kind of tea do you drink?
Almost exclusively chamomile, aka kamilica.
I like chamomile.
Some green teas.
Yeah.
I'm not an avid tea drinker, I'd say.
Yeah.
My wife drinks it occasionally when she's bored of coffee.
Ah, really?
Yeah, but she started branching out to different flavors of coffee, so that's helped. So she has like a different flavor each day. So the tea hasn't been coming out.
See,
that's unfortunate.
I was drinking coffee for so long, sometimes like twice a day, and the coffee I have is so strong. It's that Bosnian coffee.
Oh yeah, which is just black.
It's powerful, and I drink it black, and so I mean, for me, it's like I wasn't drinking it for the flavor, for the fun. It was like I want that caffeine.
You need to be able to function.
Yeah, and so I was drinking that so much, but I realized the caffeine had a real effect on my body. Like it would. I mean, obviously, it increases your heart rate and gets you, like, energized, but it was, like, to a point, like, a little much.
Yeah.
And so I was like, all right, I gotta just slow it down a bit. And then switching to these teas, it's just, it's calming. And I guess one thing that I've been trying to do recently is just like calm myself down, for acting purposes and in general in life. You know, it's better to approach something with a calm, clear mind. And so, I mean, with caffeine, I do like it sometimes, especially if I'm writing or anything, because I'm up and my brain is like going really fast too, and so that's why I like that. But for the calming effects, I like the tea.
Yeah, I never really got into coffee myself. I obviously, you know, because of what Bosnians drink, they drink like the strongest, blackest coffee you can imagine.
All day, every day.
Oh,
they take
like
it so serious.
5 cups. Yeah. Like anytime someone comes over, at least 5. It's not
no
a joke.
It's no joke. It's crazy. Every time someone comes over, it's like 2 to 3 cups with them. But before they come over, you gotta have your like pre-guest cup.
No, and there's no limit to when you have it during the day. Like they'll have parties going into midnight, and they'll have coffee right before the guests leave. Yeah. Like at midnight, at 1 a.m. It's crazy. But so I didn't like the flavor myself, and you know me, if I don't like the flavor of something, or if I don't like anything, even if it does something for me, like it improves my function or improves something about the way I'm living, I just don't do it. I'm just it's very childish, but it's like, no, I don't like the taste, so I'm not gonna have it.
I think that's great. So, I think that like keeps you pure.
Yeah, so it's nice that I don't have to rely on something.
Yeah.
And, I mean, if you go out to, you know, like a coffee chain and you buy a coffee once or twice a day, that's like as or maybe sometimes more expensive than smoking. That's a lot of money you can save by not being addicted to coffee. So it's just nice. Plus, it saves you time, man. If you one time over this last summer when I was working at a different law office, I tried to kind of get into that. You know, going and getting myself like a hot drink or, you know, like a steamer or something in the morning. Someone's yelling. Get myself a steamer or something. And, you know, you go out of your way. You drive there. You drive back. Like, well, at least that's how it was set up for me. My law office was like 2 minutes down the road. I had to drive another 3 minutes to get coffee. 3 minutes back. I was like, you know, this just isn't even worth it.
It can take time. And, well, one thing I've noticed about things that take up just a little bit of time, say even like just a 2-3 minute thing, 5 minutes, like checking a phone or checking something, it takes more time than the actual time it takes. And what I mean by that is, say you're reading a book and then you leave to make a cup of coffee and then you come back with the coffee. You get pulled out of the book. It takes a second to jump back into the world of it. And especially for something that's creative or even like homework or writing especially, you have to you get pulled out of it, and then that build up back, you got to factor that in, and that's not obvious. You can't just set a timer on that, like. And so that's one reason I kind of wanted to stop drinking coffee too. It pulls me out of things, you know.
I am positive I've mentioned this on the channel at some point in our last 350 videos, but I'm gonna say it again. That is perfect, Bosniancheese, what you just said. What I always tell my wife, because she'll be like, oh, if you don't want to deal with so many dishes at the end of the night, do them as you go throughout the day. I'm like, that's not better. It takes more time. It's like, I gotta, you know, roll up my sleeves. I gotta soap up the sponge, and then I gotta start, and then open up the dishwasher, start putting it in. You add up all that little bit of time. I'm probably spending an additional 5 minutes on dishes by the end of the day. Yeah. But that's just the time aspect of it. Then you've got, you know, the focus that you're losing. It's like me, I can't do dishes just to do dishes. I have to like listen to music, like play something on my phone, like YouTube, Netflix, something like that. I'm set and, you know, getting sucked into the show a little bit, and it might distract me from something I need to do. Like, I almost certainly have homework I need to do. If I take time to do dishes, I'm going to start a 5-minute video, finish in 2 minutes, and be like, oh, well, I have to finish out the video. That's another 3 minutes. Yeah. It's like, you totally lose, totally get out of the zone.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. And you can see, like, with artists, does a painter clean up the drops and then, like, every time they drop something? No, they just paint the picture and then clean up after. Does a construction worker sweep? Like, no, because it's just gonna get messier and it's just gonna pull you out of it, you know? You just gotta be the most productive, do those things separately.
Seriously, it's funny that you mentioned the construction example, because this 2 summers ago now, I was working on a hotel with my dad in California, and I was working with his partner actually that day, and he insisted that we sweep. Like, we were cutting the doors because they were slightly too long, like half an inch too long. So we were cutting the bottoms off and then installing them. He's like, okay, well, it's the end of the day. We have to sweep. It's our mess. Like, are you kidding me? Like, why would we sweep? We're going to cut more doors tomorrow. Like, why are we going to do that? And he told me it's like, oh, it's our mess. We have to clean it up. I was like, it's a construction site. There's not... We're literally we're standing on an unfinished floor. There's no paint. The walls aren't even up. What are you worried about? Like a potential like project donor coming through. Like, oh, I'm not gonna give them $1 million to finish this hospital or hotel or whatever. It's a mess. It was crazy. And
did he explain his reasoning?
I just think he likes to keep things clean. Or maybe he was concerned that someone would slip on it and then they'd be like, oh, it was Yxlarb's fault because he didn't clean it up. We're going to sue him. It's like, well, there would be a defense there. You'd kind of be like, well, you're going into a construction site. You should expect there to be things on the floor that you could slip on or trip over or whatever. That would just be the defense, so it wouldn't be a problem. But I think that's it. But actually, before we dive into too much else, why don't we get back to Minecraft a little bit?
Oh, yes.
Yeah, we forgot.
Completely,
we totally went off
we did.
on something else there. I'll start this time.
Yeah.
So, we just finished up Minecraft Season 2, and the whole phase is in general, like I already said. And for those who didn't notice, there was kind of a theme with this last phase, which, to remind you all, it of course consisted of Minecraft Season 2, Nerf and Strike Elite, a solo series of mine, and Forza Motorsport 7, another solo series of mine. And the theme was basically throwback. Like, it was, every one of these series was a sequel to a previous series we've done. Minecraft Season 1. What? Yeah. Wow. Nerf and Strike, the first game in the series, and Forza Motorsport 6, of course. And one thing I was kind of thinking to myself when we were getting into this phase was we spent a lot of time diversifying. You know, I've expressed this fear before of getting kind of trapped in a particular genre or franchise or even a single game. I literally know channels that make videos only on one good game. And if they try to do anything else, they don't get views, they don't get money if they're trying to make a career out of it. So they're like, okay, well, I guess I'll just do this one game my whole career. And then they get burnt out on the game.
Yep.
That's the exact thing I didn't want. And we both didn't want that. That's why at the beginning, we did every game we wanted under the sun. Halo, Resident Evil, Dying Light, Sonic the Hedgehog, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Like, so different. These are so drastically different. Yeah. We're not even staying with Nintendo or Sony or whoever. Microsoft, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, we had all these consoles and everything.
Yeah.
The only one we don't really have is PlayStation.
Not anymore.
Yeah.
No, we each had a PS2, right? And that was it?
PS3.
No, you had a PS3.
I did have a PS3 for like 2 weeks, and then Assassin's Creed... Oh, the original.
The original Assassin's Creed?
Yeah, the original Assassin's Creed. I think there was a glitch in the game because I couldn't complete this one mission, and I got so frustrated, and it was my only game, and so I returned the whole thing and got an Xbox. And the rest is history. And I've been the biggest Halo fan since.
No, yeah, it was a huge move. Like, if you get an Xbox in that age range of like 6th to 9th grade,
it decides like my whole life would have been different if I had stayed with PlayStation. I'd be hanging out with a whole different group of people. Because all my friends are Xbox people.
No, seriously, that's hilarious. One thing I was actually thinking about the other day is I grew up with a GameCube. And that was like my whole thing. And obviously we played GameCube together when you came over. And you even had a GameCube. You had a few games. Yeah. But I always pictured you more as like the PlayStation 2 guy. You play Resident Evil 4 on the PlayStation 2. You had your Spyro games and Sims and everything else. The games that I had nothing to do with for the longest time. So we grew up totally different. I'm amazed you didn't stick with PlayStation for longer. But I mean, of course, that Assassin's Creed thing really set you back. Because those were expensive. This was the first PS3. The one that had the 6-disc changer thing or whatever.
Didn't it?
It was the big block, the first generation that came out.
They were pricey, and at the time I remember how big of a deal it was, not just for me, like a little kid getting a console, but for my parents buying it. Like, I felt how much it was even back when I didn't understand money that well. Mm-hmm. Like, I felt that it was a big purchase, and that's why I felt really bad when we returned it. And but I mean, I knew we were getting the full refund, so that was fine with me.
Yeah,
but yeah, I think the biggest thing was there was always an underlying did I make the right purchase? And so, but when I got the Xbox, I didn't think that at all because I got Where did I get with that? I think it was Halo and Gears of War.
So Halo 3 and
Halo 3, Gears of War 1 or 2, 1. And I didn't even think about if it was a good purchase or not because I was too busy playing these awesome games.
They were awesome.
Seriously cool game. Gears of War, wow, like that is an interesting just game.
No, it really is.
Especially at the time when it first came out, you're just like, what is this? It's such a cool world they built.
No, yeah, it was. I didn't dive into those too much myself. I only played through the first one fully, and I can't remember it too well. But I just kept thinking to myself, it kind of had that like Star Wars effect where you have this huge world, but not enough is really explored. You know, it feels like you're in such like a narrow.
In Gears.
Yeah, that's what I thought. And Halo honestly has the same problem. Like, you have to read all the books to really get it all. It's like the story, like Halo 1's story even. It's like so like bland. Like you don't know much about the Flood. You don't know much about the Forerunners. You don't know like anything.
Yeah, I think they could have done a better job.
Those world building games.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think they did a good job building the world, but not explaining it. And I guess like the world, part of the fun is the mystery. I mean, when you think about it, all the best world building, you're getting a small bit of a giant world. Say you experience like 99% of what you can do in your lifetime. That's a small sliver of what's happened in humanity, right?
It's true.
And so it's that same idea with like the Lord of the Rings. Like the movies, you've never seen them, right? But you've heard all about them.
I have.
So it's like it's this giant thing, the powerful ring and everything, and then they gotta fight the bad guy. But I learned more about the story, and these are all like pretty small players in this world. There's like giant gods and huge things going on, and this is just a small section of just a bigger conflict. And that's the kind of world building, like it can be done really well. But there's situations like Halo where they just don't fill you in on enough. Yeah. Yeah.
No, that's true.
So,
speaking of world building or world crafting, as it were.
Oh, yeah.
Let's transition back to Minecraft.
Yeah, I knew we were getting away from it.
We're so bad. I know, but I can't help myself. I just want to talk about all these things.
There's something always.
we're not trying to make it sound like talking about Minecraft's a chore because wow, do I love talking about Minecraft.
Yeah.
But
it's been a blast.
Once we do that, then we won't have anything inhibiting us from going forward. So
that's true. Let's do it.
So I'll go to my thoughts. So as I mentioned, the phase was kind of a throwback phase, and that's how we got off topic to begin with. I was talking about how everything was a sequel to a previous series and everything else.
Jeez, and then we went off on consoles.
No, yeah. So it was phenomenal to return to Minecraft specifically because at the time I think recording Minecraft Season 1 was my favorite series that we recorded. It was just so much fun to record. We spent so much time, exponentially more time playing it than we did recording it. We recorded something like 10 hours or so. We probably played 20 hours at least on that during that season. And it's just such a fun game. It is just a fun game no matter how you play it. One thing I always say is, we play very basically. Sorry, I can't speak. We play very basically. We probably play incorporating like 20-25% of the concepts at your disposal in Minecraft. There are a lot of things we haven't even seen in Minecraft. We don't really go out of our way to explore every new thing. We don't even keep track of that stuff. It's like there's always an update, there's always something new. We don't even look at what the update brings. We just play blindly, and then it's like, oh, this is a thing, cool, awesome. Yeah. And we just roll with the punches.
We didn't research anything.
No, we don't. You could lose yourself in Minecraft if you wanted to. It's a sizable game. It's unbelievable value for money, and that's a big reason why I always preach its honor. But this particular series, I will say, I hate talking about it this way because it makes it sound like I didn't like the series, like I didn't like the Nomadic Journey, but that couldn't be further from the truth. I loved recording this series. I just didn't enjoy it as much as other series I've recorded. But like Bosniancheese said in the finale, you don't think about better times you've had when you're having a good time. You're not like, it's like, oh, this is fun, but there was this one other series I recorded that was way more fun to record. We're not thinking about that in the moment. Yeah. The only reason it even came up, or why it's coming up now, is because we're reflecting back. We're being forced to think about it. If we didn't do that, we would just move on to the next thing.
To the next fun thing that makes us happy. I mean,
which is what we do.
When you're sad, that's when you think about the past. Like, oh, she left me. It was so much better.
She left me. It was so much better with her hair. So, exactly. So,
yeah.
And, you know, I guess now that we're in a podcast, we have a little more time to kind of explore the reasons why I didn't like it as much. So, first of all, during those last 2 episodes, I realized just how much I love building. I love clearing things out. I love thinking creatively with Bosniancheese, especially because we just have we both just have good ideas. If we both built our own building, they would be drastically different. When we come together, we, you know, again, make something even more different than that. It's just, and it's so cool.
We have similar ideas of what looks good. There was never a time someone...
That's important.
Yeah, there's never a time someone built something we were like, one of us was like, yes, and one of us was like, no. It's like you built the chandeliers or whatever, and both of us were like, no.
No. Neither of us was like, okay, we have to split over creative differences. That didn't have to happen, thankfully.
It doesn't happen,
So the building, sorry, I don't know if that was a bug or a hair or whatever, but I just love building. The craft side of Minecraft is definitely my favorite. I love it, especially in creative mode where you can actually get creative. It's called creative mode for a reason. Like, we've obviously built things in adventure mode, and it's just not the same.
Yeah.
It can be really aggravating when, you know, you do something as simple as, you know, put the ceiling one like level lower than you wanted. Yeah. So that's going to be so much work. Like 20, 30 minutes of work if it's like a big enough building.
Yeah.
To undo that and fix it.
Well, if you're not creative.
That's what I mean. If you're in adventure mode, that's how long it'll take. Yeah. In creative mode, it's just like, oh, whatever. Just, well, guys, this feels like deja vu.
Yes.
Never got that camera issue resolved. Basically, my research revealed that most likely it's a heat issue, but we've never experienced this issue before. We've recorded other videos for, you know, easily 25, 30 minutes, which is the max amount of time. And it's never just shut off randomly. Not that I've noticed. I don't know.
Every other time we've done that, we've been moving the camera around, I feel like.
You think it's like an automatic feature where it's like, if it stays stagnant?
Maybe. I mean...
But it sees something moving. I feel like that wouldn't be an issue. I was thinking
There's no way we haven't moved for 22 minutes.
Yeah, we've been moving. I'm trying to...
Yeah. Can't stop moving.
I don't know. I guess we'll just have to forget about it and just deal with it for another day.
Yeah.
So, back to the topic. So, building, first of all.
Yes.
Obviously, that is missing in a nomadic journey. There's very few times where we cleared anything out or built a structure. If we did, it was temporary.
Yeah.
And more often than not, it was in a mountainside or in the ground. The simplest structures.
Yep.
Like, the villagers would still love to move into them. They're like an upgrade for them compared to their 2x3 square foot Minecraft square foot houses. But still, just nothing impressive whatsoever. Especially when you're building on the grand scale like we are, you're just, you know, working towards like a huge project, like a huge finished product.
Yeah.
It's so cool to, you know, see that sort of thing come to life, and you can always improve upon it. You know, even going back through and editing episodes 29 and 30, I was thinking like, oh, we should have done this instead.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, it would have been cool if we added this. Of course, we had limited time. We're not going to go back and change anything at this point, but so that's the first major point. I just love building a lot, and we basically stripped half the fun. It would be like Resident Evil 5 or Resident Evil 4 without organizing.
Say it, no.
It's like, oh, you're not allowed to organize your attaching case or your inventory. You have to keep it the same. That's half the fun, is organizing your inventory.
I think it might be because, at least this is an aspect of it.
I want to hear it.
When you play Minecraft with how we were playing it in the adventure mode and, you know, in hard difficulty and especially nomadic, it turns into a video game. But when you play it building wise, it's more than a game. It's creating. You know, it's creating versus being led on a journey. And that's just, I think that's more fun. I think most people would agree, like, if you could, you'd rather make a movie than watch a movie. Yeah. Even though watching movies is awesome and we'll do it all the time, you know, we love being led on that journey. Creating a movie, making something yourself, that's something special, you know?
I see that. And you could argue that the journey here, since it's totally, you know, at our discretion what to do and where to go, it's still not it's still nowhere near the same because Minecraft, even with how varied it is and how many biomes there are and how many things there are to explore, it's still very limited. I kind of, expressed this at some point, I think, where that's why there's so many mods for Minecraft, because it plays itself out. If you do nothing but, stick to the journey side of things, there's only so much you're going to see. And there's only so much you can do before it starts repeating itself. And, that kind of leads me into point number 2, is where the nomadic journey, I even said this before, was kind of the traveling part, the actual journey, that was the valley every time. It's like you have your peaks and valleys in terms of entertainment. The traveling was always the valleys for me. The peaks were like, it's like, oh, this really interesting cave, or this village, just destroying a village or something like that. That's just me, though. I don't know. Go ahead, Bosniancheese. What do you have to say?
I think, I'd agree mostly with that. I feel like instead of like a valley, it was a real up and down while we were traveling. But then every time we died, it was back down here. Huge. And then we had to like climb back up slowly, and then we'd get into an up and down where we find cool things, and then, or like find a cave, and then it's not that cool, and then find a village, and then we leave, and then...
and that's number 3 for me. The third, and probably the biggest, I'd say building was the biggest reason, but this one's pretty close, is the deaths, and not only the deaths, but how drastic the results were. It was so punishing to die.
And we are back.
Dumbass camera.
Yeah.
All right. Where were we? I've forgotten. We probably should have thought of that before we came back. Dying. Yes. And how devastating it was to die.
Yes.
We thought we were going to be more careful. We thought that beforehand.
Yep.
We weren't.
We
first
weren't.
Of all.
That's our biggest issue. Yeah.
We're taking all the risks, because if you're not taking these risks, you're not even having fun. It's just...
That's true. That's true.
Being so careful is not fun.
Gotta take the risks.
So that didn't help. But still, sometimes we died. I mean, I was watching back through and just thinking, where did that creeper come from? Or how did that happen? Honestly, how did we die there? Or how did one of us die there? It is incredibly frustrating. Like we said, we've ended recording sessions out of frustration. We don't want to carry on. And then we had to spend multiple episodes sometimes getting back up to the point where we were. Eventually, we found iron so frequently it didn't really matter.
Yeah.
But it was also punishing because we weren't storing anything anywhere. Even if we did find diamond, it would have been lost because we don't have chests. That was part of it, is we're not settling down anywhere.
And we never found diamond. It's the heater.
Oh my god, I was like, is that the camera? Is it about to explode or something? That was such a weird noise. Okay. I was like, well, now we know what's wrong. It's been planning to explode this whole time. Okay. Go on, sorry.
No, we just never found diamond. I was upset about that.
That was not great.
Yeah.
I was hoping for some diamond. I don't know if we just don't know anything about finding diamond, because I've done the research and I know where you're supposed to be able to find it. Of course, on the console version, you can't bring up a little XYZ graph of where you are in the world, so you can't find the optimal locations.
Yeah.
But you think you just stumble upon it once every now and then.
Yeah, because we went to the bottom of so many caves, and I always check by the lava just because I know.
That's where it is, right?
I know. It's got to be there.
But we haven't found it, so that's it. But like we said, probably no more nomadic journeys. We love to travel occasionally, though. I mean,
Definitely no more
happened
nomadic
in our
journeys.
That happened in our... Definitely not.
Definitely.
That happened in our first
Minecraft.
season. Not in... No. God. That happened in our first season, where it's like, oh, we spent 5 episodes doing this. Let's go out in the world, try to find a village. And then we'll come back. And then we'll keep building. So it really serves better as a break from the monotony of, building the same thing over and over, or mining the same thing over and over.
Yeah.
So that's where I'll leave it. If you have anything else you want to add, Bosniancheese, you go ahead. Or did I cover it all, basically?
I think that pretty much covered it all.
That was it, but it was fun. Honestly, I had fun. I was always excited to record more Minecraft.
Yeah, always.
If you record 20 hours of Minecraft, you must love it. So we wouldn't
That's the truth.
We wouldn't just do it if we didn't enjoy it. So that's it. But
yes, good series.
Yeah, no, and I'm really excited for the next phase on our channel. It's gonna consist of at least 2 series. And I'm really excited for both to come out. Both have already been fully recorded. They just need to be edited. I can't say that word.
Edited.
Yeah, it's too much.
Edited.
I can't do it. But yeah, they just need to be.
Yep.
that, and
Yes.
then they'll just start coming out. You know, we'll probably have a couple week break in between this podcast going out and then those starting up, just to sort of get, you know, sort of a cue.
God,
I almost called it a K. That's one thing. My wife, she thought that word was pronounced, you know, she thought the word Q was pronounced as K.
What?
way back when we first met, I was like, what are you saying? Are you trying to say Q? Like, you know, it's like, oh, you add it to your queue in Spotify or something. You like, so
did she say that? Like K?
Yeah.
K?
So now, as a joke, I always say K.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, add it to the K. It's just funny. But now I'm afraid I'll say it in social situations and people think I'm an idiot. So I almost just did. But so that's what we're going to be working on, and we're really excited about it. Other than that, I'm working on practice running a series that's going to be coming out on the channel in the future. Don't know exactly when, but it has been a ton of fun going through that game. It was a really influential game for me growing up. Like, really, it impacted me, but not in any major way, really. It was just like the game I played every single day for like 6 months when I was in like elementary or middle school or something. And I just
that's a lot.
Yeah, I couldn't get past these few particular points, and I can't wait to explore those. I'll tell you guys all sorts of stories once that one's coming out. But
yeah,
so it's been fun playing through that. It's like a trip down memory lane. It's always fun. That's one thing Bosniancheese knows about me, is I don't play new games. I always enjoy them. Like, we played the new Call of Duty Modern Warfare, right?
Yeah.
I had a blast with that. I haven't picked up a Call of Duty game in general in years. Well, actually,
that one's just good. That's a good.
It was just a good Call of Duty, and it was like riding a bike in a way. It's like the similar strategies apply. You know, like, you know, the cautious sort of gameplay. You know, utilizing cover. You know, going prone, everything like that. It was just like playing Modern Warfare 2 way back in the day. It was so much fun. And it looks gorgeous, so that helps. And it has a really, really cool story.
Have you ever had the story is great. But have you ever had a game where you played as a kid and then a new version came out and it was nothing like the original version?
And it was like literally not like it. Like, it was just a different kind of game, or it didn't make you feel the same way at all.
I mean, any
because I'm kind of thinking
that comes up,
and it specifically disappoints you.
Yeah, well, for me, I'm thinking Assassin's Creed, and there's some that were just like, it's the same game, but it's not. Like, they changed everything, but they changed nothing, and then
they changed everything, but they changed nothing.
Yeah.
Go ahead, dive into that a little more, and then I'll think of an example for myself.
So for me, the big one was Unity. Even though like I ended up enjoying it by the end, it's just like everything was a little off. The fighting, it was a little bit different. They changed it. I mean, it's all still like the same kind of idea. You have stealth and you have fighting, but they like really push that on you hard. Kind of like you have to do stealth sometimes, and then the fighting was just like too difficult sometimes, so you had to go with stealth, and it just, the difficulty didn't add to the joy. It was so, because the fighting wasn't fun at all. Like, it was just difficult, and not in a way that it's like the controls were bad. And the controls were bad and everything.
It's not difficult because it's difficult. It's difficult because you have bad controls.
Exactly, because the controls are bad and everything's just...
Obviously, I edited those videos, and I can't tell you how many times I heard you say, it's like, I literally pressed the button. You know, the one where it's like, oh, they're coming from behind you. Press this button to, you know, dodge the attack or block the attack or whatever. And it, like, never works. The button shows up, but you can't do anything.
It's not clear what your moves are going to do when you do them. Like, I know games that have way more fighting than that, and I was really good at. Like, Batman Arkham Asylum, you're surrounded by way more enemies, and the fighting system is so clean and nice that
one's still praised for how good it is.
Oh, yeah. So. It was incredible. And same thing with the Shadow of War, Shadow of Mordor. The same idea. And the fighting is just incredible, and you can get these like huge combos of like 100 and something, but in Unity you're never gonna get that, because as soon as like you get a little combo going, someone's got a gun.
Mm-hmm.
And guns, like,
God, that does not help.
It was just,
that does not help.
It was honestly boring. And then also, everybody had a British accent, and it was in France. How did they fuck up that bad?
I have no idea.
That's just like, how do you not have enough French actors? Like,
that's hilarious.
Huge film industry.
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
No, that's, you know, speaking of all this, the combat stuff real fast, compare it to, I guess, the earlier one. So I remember playing Assassin's Creed 1 a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And there, the combat system, from what I remember, was very basic.
Yeah.
I mean, basically, you could just, by the time you got, like, what was it, the short blade or whatever?
Yeah.
You could just stand and wait. And as soon as they attack you, you press the, like, counter button or whatever, and it, like, goes into a little sequence where, like, you dodge and then you stab them.
Yeah.
It's, like, an instant kill. That's how you get the achievement of, like, oh, fight 30 plus enemies at one time. Because they only fight you one at a time. They didn't have guns. And then you just press that each time. I enjoyed myself, but I was younger, so I don't know if I would still enjoy it, but it's not a good combat system if that's all you do. You just literally wait and then do instant kills.
Yeah.
That's not engaging. And then in Unity, they fixed that by basically getting rid of that system.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure they fixed it way earlier than that, but I haven't played every game.
Mm-hmm.
But the combat system is still flawed, so you're still not enjoying yourself. But now it's frustrating because it's also impossible to proceed. It's not impossible to proceed, but it's more difficult. At least in Assassin's Creed 1, it's like, okay, it's boring, but at least I can make it through and get to the next part or whatever.
Yeah, yeah.
So there was at least that.
And at least, even though it was easy, it felt satisfying.
Oh,
that's
it felt
the thing.
So satisfying.
That's the thing with the combat system. It needs to be satisfying. That's why, like, in Call of Duty, when you hit someone, there's a... Okay. We're just gonna keep talking. The satisfying... things that they're in there for a reason. I mean, it feels so good when something flashes and comes up, the hit markers, the plus 50 points, whatever. Mm-hmm. It has to be satisfying. And in Unity, it was the opposite of that. It didn't even feel good to kill somebody. You're just like, all right, fucking finally.
Yeah, no.
You're like, thank God that fight's over, rather than I don't know, moving on to the next thing.
I don't spend a lot of money on games. I have the games that I like. I've never sold a video game in my life. I have every single one that I had when I was young.
Trading in my 360 to get the Xbox One, but I actually kind of don't because it was my only way to get the Xbox One. Yeah.
It was worth it.
It was worth it.
Yeah.
But there was a lot of good games that I traded in.
Yeah, no, and it sucks to trade in games. Honestly, why is GameStop still around? I cannot wait for them to go.
Oh,
I cannot wait.
Just wait a few years. Their business model is so bad.
People are getting like I shouldn't be so mean.
No, do it. They're horrible.
People are like getting like duped into buying like GameStop exclusive like pre-order things, whatever. It's like people are like, oh, that's why I go to GameStop for the like pre-orders. I'm like, dude, what are you getting with a pre-order that is so important? There's so few things I've pre-ordered in my life. Like, I remember ODST, Halo 3 ODST I pre-ordered, got Sergeant Johnson to play as in firefight mode. That's it.
I can't even think of what I've pre-ordered, but I think I have before.
Metroid Prime Trilogy, pre-ordered that.
Oh, you pre-ordered that?
Yeah, it came with, like, the metal tin and like, the booklets inside and everything with some cool like lore and everything like that, and that's worth a lot today. Actually, like if you buy like a sealed version, it's like $200 to $300.
What?
So
do you still have that?
Yeah. I told you, don't sell games.
Well, now you do.
No, I
sell
don't.
It now.
Oh, that one. Yeah. No. My brother Andy, he is a huge Metroid fan. He's never gonna get rid of that. He's the kind of guy who'll pay like $75.
$300.
He'll pay seriously. He'll pay like $50 or $75 for a rare copy of like Super Metroid, even though he has the game on his like Wii Virtual Console. It's like he doesn't buy it to play it. He buys it because it's rare and it's like I just don't get it. I don't get collecting. It's like you hear like people who like they don't necessarily collect cars, but they're like what do you call them? They're obsessed with like originality, like it's like original parts, number matching colors, number matching motor, all of that, and they literally don't even put fuel in it. It's just meant to sit, be perfect forever. And it's like you trailer it to a show. You don't start it when you're taking it out of the trailer. You push it into the spot and you leave it there. You spend like $150,000 on this thing to make it pristine, and then you don't use it. I can't get on board with that. I'm not saying it makes no sense. It just doesn't make a lot of sense to me. It doesn't make $150,000 worth of sense, It's like I could see, like, I remember Pokemon Platinum, actually. I can't remember if I pre-ordered that or if it came with this, but it came with, like, a little Giratina statue, probably this size. You guys might know what I'm talking about. You can probably buy that thing for at least $50 now, but it just came with it for free. It wasn't meant to be a big deal. And that would be the kind of thing I'd be like, oh, yeah, this is cool. I'll keep it.
Yeah.
And I like had it, but I wouldn't buy it for $50.
No.
It like wasn't that cool. I don't know. It's but yeah, so GameStop needs to go. Definitely. Unbelievable. Unbelievable business model. I hate it. You guys have seen them. Look up any video. It's like, oh, what it was like to work for GameStop. Why I quit working for GameStop. I'm sure there's a million of them out there. They're fun to watch. You just hear some of the ridiculous like I don't know what kind of experience you have with GameStop, but mine has always been like negative. Like when they're pushing you to buy more each time you're there. You know, part of their I don't know. Again, this
upselling,
is just upselling. That's like a huge part of how they're what's the word I'm looking for? It has to do with performance reviews. Evaluate. It has to do with how they're evaluated. It's like, oh, you have to get this many per month or this many a week or whatever it is. And I get it. That's not the employee's fault, but if I have to punish them in order to get the corporation to change its ways, I will.
But they won't change their ways. That's the thing.
Well, they'll have to if they want to exist. I can't wait. I like keep seeing GameStop shutting down and stuff. I'm loving it. This is like a dream for me.
I mean,
and I get it. Like big companies like Amazon and stuff not paying taxes. That's a big deal. But if it means GameStop going away, I'm all for it. Honestly, I hate them with a passion.
Every retail store is going to shut down eventually. There's just no way. When drones can fly everything to your house, including groceries, why would retail ever exist?
I'll tell you why.
Why?
So it'll take forever for the system to become perfected.
Oh, of course.
And some places like disincentivize you from ordering online. Take like H&M. My wife loves shopping at H&M. We don't have one locally, so she buys online from them, which is great. They always have all these great deals. It's like, oh, free shipping this. It's like, oh, buy two, get one, whatever. There's a million deals. There's always a lot of those. But then if it doesn't fit or it's not exactly what you wanted, now you have to pay to ship it back. So, I was getting to the reason why it's not going to work. So Walmart does this thing. You guys have probably seen it by now. The pickup, you go. It's relatively new to our area where you order online, then you go in person and you pick up the groceries. It's like, it's super easy. It's fairly convenient. But if you want, like good produce, those clerks don't have a fucking clue what a good banana is. They don't know. They don't know how to pick out a watermelon. So we're at the point where we order everything but produce and then go in. So the first point is certain types of stores are always going to exist. Grocery stores are always going to exist. Department stores, I think, are always going to exist. Like, they'll have to change their ways significantly. But people like to go in and try clothes on. I mean, they just like to do that. That's part of the fun, I think. People are always like, oh, but it's so convenient with Amazon. But some people legit like to go out. It's like, oh, you do this, and then you grab a bite, and then you shop, and then it's just part of your routine.
I agree with that, but I'm thinking 100 years from now, no resale stores. Because that'll perfectly coincide where drone technology is cheap enough for all these companies to be using, and then like virtual reality, you step into your virtual reality booth, try on all these clothes without ever actually putting them on, and then you get them sent to your house.
No, this is what's going to happen.
100 years from
now. It's like a pen.
That's a long time.
How do people say it? Pendulum or pendulum? I'll say pendulum.
Pendulum.
Yeah. It's like, so here we are. We're going heavily towards like Amazon and other non-retail stores like this. We're going to start coming back the other way. It's going to start swinging the other way, just like everything. Because people are going to start getting fed up. It's like, okay, so...
What are they going to get fed up with?
No, on The Office, they have a great, Robert California does a great thing. I'm not going to repeat it here. I'm just going to kind of explain the concept. It's like, why would we go with, Dunder Mifflin, where we can just go straight from the supplier, get cheaper prices, all this stuff, It's like, because they want good customer service. So now that's coming back. It's like, oh, I'll pay... What does he say? He's like, I buy things in two ways. Either I know exactly what I want and I go online and find the cheapest price, or I don't know what I want and then I go to a specialty store that can help me with that. And I'm willing to pay more for their expertise. So I think that's the kind of thing that'll happen. It's like someone who doesn't know anything about buying suits. You don't just go online and buy a suit. Plus you need a place to, tailor it and everything if you care about that sort of thing. But if you never bought a suit before, you're going to go into a men's warehouse and be like, hey, I've never done this before. Help me.
Well, yeah.
But even when you know how to buy suits, you probably still won't be buying suits online very often. Yeah. So that's just what I think.
Anyone would buy a suit online.
I think the pendulum will swing back. Maybe not in regard to everything.
Yeah.
But a lot of things. It's like...
I mean, I don't think it's swung at all with the suits. I don't think anyone...
Oh, no. I just mean in general.
Yeah.
So I'm just kind of thinking of a few things. Especially if the place offers a service as well as sales. So... Take like electronic stores. Oftentimes they sell electronics for outrageous prices because you're already there getting your computer fixed, say. You go in and say, oh, my laptop, I spilled milk on it. Which actually happened to me. And then it's like, oh, I need an HDMI cable. I'll spend $12 instead of $3 here because I'm already here, right?
Yeah.
So you can just see that it'll always exist. Like I worked... Actually, sorry I'm talking so much about all this, but I worked at FedEx. And we keep, like candy and soda and everything there, and it's like obviously priced outrageously.
Yeah.
Because this isn't a grocery store. You're coming here to get like a print job done or whatever, and you buy, a Coke for $2.50 instead of $1.50 that you could get at Winco, right? Because you're already here. It's the pricing and the convenience. Mm-hmm. But every month or 2 months, I'd have to go through and like throw out or like, what do you call that? Where you send it back to the company and you get like your money back. There's a specific word for it, but basically it's like, oh yeah, like all these Hershey's bars that nobody bought, all of these sodas, we got to send them all back. And it's like, is it even worth it to keep them there? But why would the company think so?
Why would the company replace them for you?
I don't know. There's a word for it.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's like. But if you throw them away, it doesn't work. You have to send them back to them. I don't know what they do with them. What are they doing with
Melt them and put them in the next batch.
Melt the Hershey's.
Yeah.
Put it right back in. Yeah, I don't know. It's like, oh, if only like 1% of this Hershey's bar is in the new Hershey's bar, no one will even get sick. Like, I don't know. All right, guys, I figured out why the camera's doing that. It's telling us basically you spent too much time on one topic, move on to another one. So that's what we're gonna do. So
it's gotta be it.
As you guys likely know, especially those of you who've been with us since before we started up YouTube again, our YouTube history didn't begin like 4.5 years ago. It began, let's see, it was like
with Pivot
7th or 8th. Oh my gosh! Yeah, your Pivot. What was that like? Oh jeez, hang on.
Oh my god.
How old are we? I'm 25.
That had to have been 2008. I think I was like 9 years old when I was uploading to YouTube. Yeah, so
like 12 years ago. Yeah, you were uploading some Pivot movies. Oh, that was so much fun. I wonder if that still exists.
It does. I don't think it's as big of a community, but it's still
That was huge. That was so much fun.
Oh my god. If you guys don't know what Pivot is, it's this program where...
stick animation.
Yeah, it's like stick figures, but then you can also, throw in any kind of image. But it was mostly stick figures, and you can move their body parts and like make little animations with them. And I was getting pretty big into that. Me and a couple friends were, and I was uploading to YouTube and got some decent views. I mean, like in the tens, I think, less than 100. Yeah. But like that for a stick pivot video is pretty good. And then I was working on my masterpiece. It was incredible. I spent so much time on it. I swear to God, it was like 900 frames for this guy to jump up like a castle, run up a castle wall and like flip over it. And I didn't save. Or maybe I did, but the whole thing just corrupted. I think I put a stick figure in there and I was trying to change his size. And so on the side, you type like the number to change his size. And I added like one too many zeros. And then it blew up. And then it was just too much for the thing to handle, dude, so it crashed. Everything was gone, and that's when I stopped using Pivot. But
it's horrible.
Honestly, it was a huge fucking waste of time.
Honestly,
it wasn't. If you're having fun and creating, you're not.
No, I remember this one. I can't remember if you actually released this or this was one we worked on together, but it never came to fruition.
Oh my god, I know what you're talking
about. I hope you do because it was funny. There's this one like green stick figure man who was like made fun of because he had this extra stick in his head.
It was a dick.
Yeah.
Like that's what
it looked like. Yeah. Like he just got made fun of all the time.
I thought that's what we were saying it was back then. Or
did we? I don't know. I thought
that's what it was. That we make fun of him because he was a dickhead or something.
I don't know. It was yeah. That never came to fruition. Then now that I'm remembering, that never got uploaded.
Yeah, but we definitely got
we got a good amount. I remember one particular like frame where he was just like sitting on the ground like, oh, I'm so sad. People are making fun of me. Yeah. So we must have done a little bit of work with that.
I remember three guys coming in and making fun of him.
Yeah, so like, this guy. Yeah. So that was good. Yeah, Pivot. Yeah, we have a long... When you say colorful history, that makes it sound like some good, and then like some bad, like you were a criminal. That's what it sounds like. It's like, oh, he had like a colorful upbringing. Doesn't it sound like that?
I don't think so.
Okay, I don't know if I'm just.
I don't think you'd ever use it for like someone's upbringing. I think I only ever hear it on colorful history, and for me that just means a lot happened.
Okay,
there's
so
a lot of different colors.
Like okay,
yeah.
But one thing I was just thinking about is let's see, that was 9th and like primarily 10th grade for me. So that was like 8-ish years ago. We recorded a series of Nerf gun related movies.
Yes.
And that was probably our peak on YouTube before this.
Oh yeah.
Before
Easy.
What we're doing now, because that was just so.
That was just peak YouTube in general.
Peak YouTube in general.
Nothing gets better.
Oh yeah, nothing gets better. But
oh man,
as you can imagine, we were younger. We had Andy, who was like what at the time? He was probably 12 or 13 max.
I remember thinking like, is Denny too young to record? Like
yeah,
this?
he must have been like 8 or 9. So
yeah,
and we never included him. So yeah, we were really young. The movies were obviously terrible, but they were like a hilarious terrible.
They're good terrible.
No.
They're one of those where like you watch them and it's like, it's just fun to watch. And I don't even think it's just because it's us. Like if anyone watched that, like if I stumbled upon someone on YouTube doing something like that, I'd laugh my ass off. Like,
no, yeah, it was just a
ridiculous.
good time. And we created basically 3 parts to a single movie, I guess. And it ended up being, I think, like 10 to 12 minutes long between all of those. We spent probably like 3 weeks trying to get those down, like 60 takes per scene because we couldn't stop laughing our asses off.
Yeah,
we were bad. That's just who we are still, in a way. But
oh man, I'm an actor now.
No, you can't do that.
I still do that.
Yeah.
Oh my god, yeah. I still like sometimes it's an urge I have to.
No, those were fun to record, and the reason I'm bringing them up is because we just had this idea. I got this idea from another YouTuber. If we ever reach 1 million subscribers, if that ever happens, we'll release those movies in like one like single like deluxe edition video, and we'll make it live for you guys to see. You guys can see us being children, being terrible with our storytelling. Like the story it was hilariously bad. It was pretty cliched. Just a lot. It was just fun though. So I think you guys would enjoy it. But there's some motivation for you. Get us up to 1 million. We're pretty close. So
yeah, I mean we're a little over 700, right?
Yeah, 732 right now.
Ooh.
So we'll be there before you know it.
Yeah, just
probably
9. How much left?
God,
999,000 left.
God,
yeah.
That's not too bad though. I think we could do it.
No.
So keep pushing that for us, guys. But yeah, and then obviously we did YouTube videos after that. Started with I was telling Bosniancheese about this beforehand. My first series I ever did was Sonic Adventure 2 Battle when I was in 8th grade. So what is that? That's like 2008, 2009-ish, I think. And I recorded with a digital camera that worked off batteries, like AA batteries. So
that's crazy.
Just think about that.
That's insane.
And the SD card that was on it was limited to 4 minutes and 50 seconds of 360p video. So, and of course back then, I didn't edit or anything. I just had my stack of books / game cases, put the camera right on there to perfectly replicate the border of the TV. And then I would just record, one mission at a time. And if I couldn't finish it in 5 minutes, I would start over until I could. Because I didn't even know how to merge 2 separate video files together to make one video. I didn't know about that. I just recorded it. If I made one mistake, got to start over, and then uploaded it. It was a good time.
I love hearing that story because that's just the epitome of like a humble beginning, but like you love it,
Oh,
you love it. You go to that length to work around all that bullshit because you just want that end goal,
Yeah.
I mean, some people don't want to, move through any adversity or anything, but like doing it like that and then going to where we are now, I mean, it's a beautiful thing, really. No,
it really is. Yeah, I didn't grow up with an allowance. And my parents obviously thought YouTube was stupid. They still probably do. Yeah. This whole thing. So, of course, they weren't going to give me, hundreds of dollars, for nice equipment or anything like that. I didn't even, get my Dazzle way back in the day from them, which, of course, could only record 480p. And we didn't even have splitters, so we couldn't record anything except for, looking at the laptop screen.
Yeah.
And we tried a couple of times with HD games, but there would be like a 3-second lag. It was
Impossible.
Unplayable. Yeah, it's miserable to play that way. People complain about like a 1/10 of a second lag, so imagine. It was just not possible. But yeah, we've really come a long way. The last time we came back obviously was in 2015, I think. Yeah, so we're approaching the 5-year mark. We're at 4.5 years now, I think. And it's just been great. This has been, obviously we've been the most dedicated at this time. There's really been nothing stopping us. It just felt like it was so easy to give up before because there were just so many, things going on. It's like, oh, well, I'm going to move to college, so it's going to be tough. Yeah. So we'll just stop. Plus, we don't have an HD PVR. We don't have any way of recording HD gameplay. Oh, we don't have the greatest mic, all this stuff. And it's just so easy to dump it. That's why if you actually invest in something, it's much easier to stick with it. You could also construe that as getting trapped. I think of that sometimes. It's like, people need to justify their purchase because they can't return it or something. Mm-hmm. It's like, oh, I have to use it. You think of that with like, clothes or like some technology. If if it's past the 30 days after purchase or whatever. So, but that's definitely not what this is. I really enjoy it and it's been great. And I'm really starting to, I wouldn't say get nervous. I'm starting to get a little sad, I guess. For those who don't know, I'm going to be moving from here at the end of May or the middle of May or so. And I'm going to start studying for the bar exam for a couple of months. And then once I take that, I'm still going to be living elsewhere from here. So Bosniancheese will still be here for a while, but I'll be away. And obviously, recording together is going to be, next to impossible. We're going to have, on a regular basis, it'll be next to impossible. We'll make some time, but, those will have to be long days of recording. Like, I'll come down on a weekend and we'll record, like, a good portion of the day Saturday or something like that to make up for it. But, obviously, we're not too concerned about the rate at which our videos are uploaded, and by that point, we definitely won't care at all, even if we do now. It's like, we're going to have, different priorities. And that's just part of it. I think you always had that thought in the back of your head, like, oh, this could turn into a career. Oh. But honestly, that wouldn't work for me. I'm a risk-averse person. Risk-averse people go to professional school, and they know how much they're going to make, roughly. They know they might not become millionaires unless they do something extraordinary. But you're okay with that, because you're going to be making a good living. Yeah. It's like, and like with YouTube, it could go anywhere.
Yeah. And I'm a risk taker, so if we had,
totally different.
But I like to think I'm like a logical risk taker, at least somewhat, very emotional as well. But I think if the channel had a lot more subscribers and a lot more views and like even just the potential to like get to that next spot, then I'd be like, yeah, I could maybe try to turn this into a career. At least like at the very least put a lot more time into it, Mm-hmm. But, pretty much, I'd say almost everything I'm doing now, some way or another, is gonna benefit me financially later. I mean, even when you think about, like exercising, it's just gonna make me feel good and healthy, and, like, I can be, more confident and stuff. It kind of all leads back to money.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not. I don't do it for the money, but it's like it's all going to help me with that, and so, yeah.
Yeah, but YouTube for us, I mean, we're not going to kid ourselves. We don't think it's like terribly likely, but
yeah. But I mean, if it happened, yeah. I mean, if you ended up making more money from YouTube than being a lawyer,
but I just wouldn't.
But if you did, would you?
I don't think so.
Would you fall to the sunk cost fallacy?
Sunk cost?
Like
the money I spent in the law school, I feel like I have to make it up by doing that thing. I don't think that way. The way I think about it is like a grocery store. It's like I'm gonna sell my watermelons at a certain price to beat out my competitor. I know I'm gonna lose money on those watermelons, but I'm making 300% off of selling green beans. Because that's the general thing. Green beans cost next to nothing, but they sell them to you for like $2 a pound or whatever it is. You literally make like 300+% off of those. Wow. It's like, I'm not concerned with, it's like, oh, I invested in this, so this thing has to be the thing that makes up that investment. It's like, as long as something makes it up, I'm all right with it.
Yeah.
It's like if I have 5 jobs, like not 5 jobs, if I'm working on 5, pieces of merchandise or projects or whatever I want, and I'm trying to, be profitable off of them, It's like, I'm going to understand that certain things, like, say, small stickers, probably won't be profitable because I need to sell them for next to nothing. Or attach them to, like, shirts or something. You know, it's like, oh, buy the shirt, get a free sticker.
Yeah.
Because I know I'm going to make the money back on the shirts.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that doesn't really concern me. But for me, I need to be continuously... I don't like to say this word on this channel. I can say it in real life without people snickering, but I like to be stimulated.
Yeah, me
right?
too. No, 100%.
Right? No, and obviously,
I have to be stimulated.
Working in my job, like, I'm mentally stimulated every hour I work. Like, I'm always encountering something new, always having to think critically. I'm always writing, you know, at at a high level. It's like, these are things that could be going in front of a judge. They're going in front of other intelligent and competent attorneys. That's just what I like. You know, it's I basically live for education, and my job guarantees education, and that's what it is.
Yeah,
that's
well,
why
you live for growth.
Exactly.
And I know you love growth. I mean, even with like the Instagram page and this YouTube channel, you know, we don't want to make it all about the numbers, but the numbers are fun.
The numbers are fun. It's just great to see progress. It doesn't even really matter how fast it is. It's just, obviously, if it's faster, it's like, oh, even better. But
and it's hard to see progress when it's not.
Just turn off?
I don't think so.
I heard something. Hang on, let me just sit right down.
But it's hard to see progress when it's not numbers based. But I know, you know, we can look at our videos now and go back, and then if we actually looked at that, dissected both of them, we'd see the progress in our commentary and our like connection, our engagements, our awareness of what people are seeing and hearing, and everything. And you know, we got better.
Got
better at having fun with
question,
it.
No question.
Hopefully, yeah.
Oh yeah, definitely. And we've improved in every single way, I think. I don't think anything's gone. Well, I don't know exactly what I was going to say before we cut, but basically, I think the general idea was I don't doubt that we've improved in every single way.
Yeah.
And as long as I have time for YouTube, and as long as I have the drive and the desire to continue it, the same goes for you. As long as we both have the time and the drive, we'll just keep it going. I mean, it's just, there's nothing wrong with having a passion. You know, like oftentimes,
you need one.
Yeah, you need a passion outside of work, especially, you know, like if you're dealing with something, you know, very like emotional. You know, it's like, I know, like, you know, like people who work in criminal law, especially, they need an outlet. Actually, that reminds me of something. You know, kind of talking about Nerf and everything else. Those like live action movies we did. One of my instructors, who's a judge, he's been an attorney/judge for like 20 plus years, but he told us, he's like, oh yeah, one of my outlets is like independent filmmaking, and he's like, oh yeah, me and a few of my like attorney friends, we just get together and make movies. And I was like, is this guy making Nerf movies? Is this guy making Nerf movies? But honestly, he might be doing YouTube like this.
Maybe.
And he's obviously older, and he's enjoying himself. So
that's awesome. That's like, awesome.
It's kind of easy to get into that mindset of where like, oh, everything I do has to be like making me money. Yeah. Because, you know, we're money hungry people.
Yeah, we are. Yeah.
We love the money, and it's like, it'd be nice to make more money off YouTube. We don't anymore, unfortunately. We I don't know if you guys know about the requirement, but you have to have 1,000 subscribers, and you have to be getting 4,000 hours of views continuously every 12 months. It's like, so for the last 12 months from today, huh?
Did we get that at least?
No.
How close are we?
Oh, for this channel, I have no idea, but we're nowhere near close enough. No, nowhere near close enough. Our other channel is very close.
Would we need like a video a day? Or
it's all...
You think like... we'll have to look at that later.
Yeah, 240,000 minutes of watch time. So
it really depends on...
Depends on the length of the video and how many views. So it's like... It's really tough to say exactly how much you need, but even having a video a day, you'd have to be getting a good chunk of views a day to make that happen. So that's really tough, because that's just generally tough. But before that, we were making like a little bit of money. I know you're technically not supposed to talk about it, but we made like a few dollars, I'd say, a month. Yeah. A month. You know, you just make... Some videos inexplicably got more than others, but... You know, like, we don't pepper ads through. By the way, that's something I want to talk about for a second. I am so tired of people putting in way too many ads for a video. I understand, like, if it's an hour-long video and you have 3 ads in there, I get it. It's like, you'd be making the same amount of money by putting out, like, a 20-minute video. So, it encourages people to make longer videos rather than 3 parts. You know, that way people don't have to worry about that. It's like, oh, I'll make more money if I split them into parts. So I appreciate that. But if you have a 10-minute video and I see 5 ads, you get an automatic dislike from me.
Yeah,
that's my rule. It's like, you are not going to be wasting my time for watching a 10-minute mediocre ass video. Could you imagine one of our videos with like 10 ads in it? That would be just just wrong.
I'm surprised they let you put that many.
I don't know if there is a limit. I'm sure there's a limit per like minute or per 2 minutes or whatever. But it's just wrong, guys.
I lose respect.
If you're one of those people doing that, that's seriously... I understand YouTube's taking away a lot of like revenue and stuff, but there's other ways. There's Patreon. There's the... I mean, I think from YouTube live streams, YouTube takes like 40%. So don't do that. Have your people send to Patreon, send to PayPal, whatever they need to do to support you. But
Twitch,
don't make us watch a million ads.
No,
especially
I lose
because...
mad respect. Yeah.
Especially like... On my phone, I don't have a choice, but on my computer, I have ad block on everything. I don't watch ads. Mm-hmm. That is just one of the things I've decided in my life, because I'm not going to waste time watching ads anymore. It's like TV is next to dead for me, so I'm not going to let it seep into my Netflix or my Hulu or anything else.
Well, that's the thing. Even with ad block, like everywhere you can have it, you're still seeing ads everywhere. It's every sporting event, every movie has, product placement and...
Yeah, but it's not taking up my time.
No, exactly. And that's what I'm saying, though. I don't feel bad about ad block or anything, because these companies are doing every little thing they can to get into your lives. And even if you aren't seeing this directly, one of the biggest ways, it's not just seeing like Coca-Cola anymore, or I'm gonna use a different example. I guess the way they literally try to mess with your mind now. They, like a bikini company, will try to make it seem like you need to be wearing a bikini and do everything to make it seem like this will enhance your life. And you say like, oh, well, I'm smart enough, I'm not going to fall for that. It's not just you. They've done it to everybody. And when everybody thinks like that, then you think like that.
AirPods.
That's
the exact thing.
Dre Beats.
Who needs to be spending that much money on that? Everyone, apparently.
Everybody. It's crazy when I see those. I'm like,
everyone's
all these
wearing AirPods.
College students, I'm like, what? Like, you are a college student. You can't find anything else to spend your money on?
No.
Like, I've
spending your loan money on AirPods.
And I've heard them. They're not that great quality.
No, I actually have a pair, because they're my brother's old pair.
Oh, yeah.
And it's like, I wouldn't buy them myself, but it's like, obviously I'm going to take them for free, because it's just convenient. Like when you're doing dishes or something, you need to be away from your phone. It's really convenient for that. But I had like a knockoff set before that, which were like $20 or $30, and those worked like basically as good. You don't have the feature of like, tapping them or whatever. Oh, but that's just a gimmick. That's a cool gimmick anyway. Yeah, it barely works. I'd say you have to be very like double click. Like you can't just be like because it like doesn't detect it. But anyway, what were we talking about before AirPods?
We're talking
advertisements. Yeah. Basically, don't put that many ads in your videos. It just comes off as like,
the way I see it...
What's the word? It starts with a D, desperate.
It
comes off as desperate.
Desperate, and also, that's your product. That is your fucking product. Like, do you not care about your product? You are seriously... It's like me just throwing in, like, if I'm or an artist, like, making a song, and then every, like, fifth of the song, you just hear, like, Coca-Cola. It's like, that's literally what you're doing. That is your product. What are you doing?
You know, McDonald's had that deal with rappers back in like the 90s or early 2000s. They gave them $5 each time they said it in their song per time it was on the radio. So it was like significant amounts of money. But like, I think there was one song that said Big Mac like 3 times or something for that. Like, really? So
yeah, see, it's like you just don't care about your product. It's like, I just respect you so much less as an artist, and it's like, if you don't care about your product, why would I? Pretty much.
Yeah, no, it's like the equivalent of like a car maker selling their car with like stickers of specific products. Like you buy a new Nissan and it's like, oh, Walmart, oh, like whatever hospital. It's like they're sponsors. They're getting paid for those ads. Like could you imagine that? That's basically how I see it as. People see it as a little different because the raw video isn't touched. They're like, oh, I'm not putting ads in the video, which by the way is another thing. I think I'm okay with people putting ads in their videos because you can just skip over them if you want to. It's like, I know a lot of these deals, they're like, oh, hey guys, just so you know, here's like 1 minute. Here's today's sponsor. If it's like a car video, it's usually associated with cars, which is nice because then maybe it's something I like. But if it's not, skip. Get on with the video.
That, yeah.
And they are already getting paid for it. Me watching it is not contingent upon them getting paid, and that I can. That's why I don't get mad when people do that, even if it's at the very beginning.
Respect to that, yeah.
But I mean, 5 like. Especially when it's multiple ads, it's like, oh, watch 2 ads to continue or something.
The Joe Rogan podcast, how he used to start his videos, it was seriously like 15 minutes worth of ads.
Really? Oh, I guess like
he
just
kind of
like podcasts and like long like radio.
Yeah,
like
and he just goes on, and like I only watched it once because I'm like, oh, it's probably almost done, and then it just keeps going. I'm like, what the hell? Like, is this still going? And so yeah, if I ever, he doesn't do that anymore. Now he just gets into it. But like, if I ever go to the old ones, I'm skip right through that.
Yeah,
and then I don't mind. I mean, it's
really
fine.
tough.
Yeah.
Really tough. But so I understand you need to be making money and everything, but you just. It's a balance, you know, like...
Yeah, it's a balance, and that's not... And a lot of people just haven't found that balance.
Plus, just one more note on this. Just because it's, like, a trade practice doesn't mean it's good, right? So, one thing I was thinking about the other day, I've kind of known this for a while, but I just did the research, because I was buying a muffler from an exhaust shop, and it's not their muffler. Obviously, they buy it from another company. And they told me the price. It was going to be, like, $150. And so I looked up the... thing, and it was like $93. But I told them I couldn't find anything in that price range, and they were like, oh yeah, that's just a normal markup. It's like, we pay $93 to them, but then we charge you $150. And that just didn't sound right to me at all. So I looked it up, and it turns out a lot of like, that's a normal practice. Like, the articles were specifically like, oh, don't think that your mechanic's ripping you off when they mark stuff up. This is how they make money, all this stuff.
They
like,
totally are.
Like, that is totally ripping me off. You know, I could understand, you know, the charge of convenience, the charge of expertise. It's like, obviously, I don't know what muffler would be best for me. That's the shop. They have the expertise. They know what will fit. They're going in there. They're doing their measurements. They're doing whatever. They have knowledge about the parts. And I feel okay spending more money on that. It's like, oh, make it 100, make it 110, 120, whatever it needs to be. But why do you have to mark it up more than 50% just because you're doing the ordering? I could do the ordering and bring it to you. It's like, especially if you think it's all right. It's like, oh, I'll give you another $5 for pointing me in the right direction, but why should I have to pay that much? So basically my point is, just because everybody is placing X number of ads in an X minute video doesn't mean it's a good practice. It's like, oh, well, the top guy, the guy with the most, you know, subscribers on YouTube or whatever, places this many ads, so I think I could do that. No. It just comes off as desperate. It comes off as annoying. It really takes up a lot of time, and I just don't enjoy it. Place your ads in your videos. That's one thing is, you know, because then people have the option of skipping through it. You know, you can, I know YouTubers, especially car YouTubers, they have a lot of deals with, you know, car part manufacturers where they're like, oh, the sponsor of today's video is X, and here's their product. But there, we actually have the choice of skipping through it. I don't like even waiting 5 seconds to be able to skip an ad. Also, why aren't 15-second ads skippable at the 5-second mark? Why do they have to be 30 seconds to be skippable at 5 seconds? That makes no sense. But anyway, all right, guys, we're gonna try to do this outro fairly quick so that the camera doesn't cut off. This last time it actually did it on its own without us. Well, obviously on its own. Why would we do this on purpose? And we didn't realize it. We didn't hear it.
It was the first time we didn't hear it, so it got a little messed up that time, but.
Yeah, so we don't want to not hear it again, and we actually don't even want it to happen. So let's just get on with it. But this has been a ton of fun. It'll be a lot more fun once we actually have the camera setup working without having to constantly stand up. I've done it a dozen times during this video.
Yeah,
every time you've seen a cut, that's me getting up, turning the camera off, turning it back on.
Yep.
That's the thing. It's not even turning off. It's still on. Right? And then it, like, stops the video. It doesn't make any sense.
And we've Googled everything. We've tried.
We're going to just have to try something new next time, and we'll let you guys know what that ends up being. But, you know, there's nothing stopping us from doing these podcasts more frequently. Yeah. It's just that, you know, they take a lot of time. You know, we can record a few videos, gameplay videos, in the time we create one of these. And obviously, that's the bulk of our channel. But it's always fun to get away from that, do something else.
Yeah. Definitely gaming is our focus, but I think I'm a bigger fan of podcasts just because I got into Joe Rogan and his whole thing, and from that just expanded out. But But I knew that you would enjoy doing this kind of thing because, I mean, just the conversations we have, I'm like, we could be recording this. And I'm sure that's the conversation everybody has when they start a podcast. They're like, well, we have good conversation. Let's record it. And I think it's great. A good conversation, that is one of the best things in the world, you know?
No, seriously, do you ever walk by people and just think, oh my god, they're talking about something like sweet, I want to like just sit and watch them. And I would if I could.
Totally.
You know, if it wasn't weird to just stop and do it. So I mean, that's the thing that always stops me from coming home at the end of the day, like right away. Like I try to leave work, I try to leave school at that moment. Mm-hmm. But then, you know, someone will start talking to me and then we'll talk for, 20, 30 minutes. And it's like, that's okay though. It's never a waste of time to get a good conversation. So
agreed.
All right, well, guys, thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next one and in the next series.
The next podcast? Oh, fuck that up. Bye.
Bye. What are you talking about?
I don't know. I was going to do something. And